We want to deepen our client relationship. We want to educate them on a better client experience. We want to give them that best client experience or that wow customer service because this market is hard. It's hard for them and it's hard for us. Hi, Therese Potter here with APP, and thanks for joining me for Hard Market Hero. This is our wonderful series talking about different things that has to do with this hard market, with all the rate changes and everything that's going on and everything the agent and agency has to deal with. So I'm here to talk to you about lesson 4, having the rate conversation. Rate is something that we personally do not control. Now, the client can control it depending on how many accidents and violations they have and some things that they do behind the scenes. But as the agent, we have very little control over the rate that the carrier charges for that particular person. When a customer has a rate increase, we can either be proactive and we can be calling and talking to the customer and reviewing the policies and reviewing discounts, or we can allow that customer to call in livid, angry after they see that money withdraw from their bank account or after they see that bill come in. So at that time, as they're calling inbound, what's their personality going to be like? How are they going to be acting? They are going to be angry. They're already going to be upset. We have to take a little bit of time when they call inbound to familiarize ourselves with their policies and with that client. So our trust is already tarnished because we didn't call them first. They had to call us. The client doesn't want to hear why. They want to hear solutions. So we have to look at it as we are the answers. We have the answers and the solutions for the client. We know what the problem is. We have to find the solution. And if we're calling outbound to the client or being proactive, we're calling to educate the client. We can control the conversation. We're already prepared. We can bring the solutions to them because we're already ready to do that call. So if your agency is not doing outbound calls, it would be great to start doing those. So you are actually reaching out to the customer and you know what's going on with the customer. You know what that rate is. You know what the situation is. You're kind of reviewed their account. But when they call inbound, it's a little bit harder. We have to review a policy first. You always want to look at the customer's policy and review it first. You want to see if there's maybe discounts they're missing. Maybe you can take it from a monoline account to having more than one account. So review the account first. Don't recommend or offer to remarket it until you've already reviewed that account and you know what you're dealing with the current account. Some discounts could have dropped off, especially, homeowners policy. They could have updated their air conditioner unit or the plumbing or the electrical. They could have updated the roof. With auto policies, they could be working from home. They could, want automatic withdrawal and paperless, and they don't even know that we offer it. They could do the plug-in for the driving, not the plug-in anymore. Now it's the app. We definitely want to make sure that we review everything on the old account and that you review the information on their current policy or old account. So you make sure you have that accurate information. Then once you know you have the accurate information, you've reviewed it for discounts, you've reviewed it, you've tried to cross-sell it, and there's nowhere else to go. That's when you can actually go into your remarketing or looking at possibly writing the account somewhere else. So your goal is to review and clean up the account, hold the remarkets for later, and the review, as you review it, you're getting to know the client, you're building rapport, and that way you're building a relationship with the client. So by the time you're done with the call, hopefully they won't want to go somewhere else. They'll want to stay with their current agent because they've been with you probably a long time. So you want to make sure that you're reviewing it, you're building a rapport, and you're calming the customer down, especially if they're calling you upset about an increase in price or an increase in rate. Time is your best friend. First of all, once you've got them on the phone, don't let them go. Keep them on the phone. The longer you keep them on the phone, the less likely they are to call another agent. So you want to make sure that you're updating the contact information that you're checking and making sure that they're on EFT or pay in full. This is also the time to talk about cross-sell, coverage increases, or an upsell, cleaning up the account, teaching the clients new stuff about the policies, and asking for Google reviews and referrals. Resist the urge to jump into problem solving mode. That will lead to a remarket. So many of us agents, when someone would call in upset about their rate, the first thing we'd do is, oh, that's okay. I can rewrite it. I can put it with another carrier. And we want to kind of avoid that because what we don't understand is as the agents, if we're not the owners, the responsible parties, and we're not looking at cost, when you rewrite a client and you're saving them money, you're actually reducing the income that comes into the agency. So that's not a good thing. Look at it as reducing your own paycheck. And it's okay to find discounts and reduce their current policy, but all of the money and the different costs and the different time when you're remarking it and rewriting it to a different company, all of that actually costs a lot of money and takes a lot of time. So you're actually saving some money when you're taking that old policy or their current policy and you're finding the discount and reviewing it for anything that can make a change and reduce the cost or actually give them better coverage. So insurance is confusing. If you remember back when, before you started insurance was confusing. And when you were learning it, it was confusing. So you want to make sure that you leave the call educating the client so they understand a little bit more about insurance. We don't want to rush the client off the phone, and you don't want to talk down to them. You don't want to make them feel like they don't understand. So make sure you're using terms and words that the customer can understand. Time is something we never have enough of. We want to make sure that we're using the time wisely, using the customer's time wisely. If you can't keep them on the phone at the moment, you always want to do a buy when and make sure you set up an appointment for them to discover when's a good time for you to talk to them. When will they be available? You may have competing priorities, but this customer must get the best of you. So even though you have other things you need to get done, you have to focus on this customer and give this customer wow customer service right then and there. So when you take the time with the customer, it makes your job easier. The customer feels appreciated. They start to understand insurance and they're leaning towards what you're offering. So if you're excited about it and you're willing to take the time with them to discuss the policies, they're going to be even more likely to want to stay with your agency and continue to build that relationship with you and your agency. A lot of people take the path of least resistance and want to feel comfortable about everything. And you can't always feel comfortable in the situation, but you can have control over the situation. And when you take the time to spend with the client, to calm them down and basically help them with these fears that they have of this price, because everything nowadays is going up in price. All of us have the fear of, are we going to be able to pay our electric bill next month or our rent next month? Insurance falls into that as well. So we want to deepen our client relationship. We want to educate them on a better client experience. We want to give them that best client experience or that wow customer service because this market is hard. It's hard for them and it's hard for us. I mean, we have our own policies at home that we have to deal with as well. Educating the client is definitely what we can use as our biggest and best thing that we can use. Because we know we're licensed insurance agents, we understand the insurance, and it's what we have to use with the client. So educating them on that will help to kind of solve their concerns and help them see the solutions that you're trying to get to. They don't want to be educated about insurance until there's a problem or they have a question and there's a claim. The problem is they don't even know anything about the insurance until there's a claim and then they start looking into it. So you want to make sure you kind of educate them before there's a claim, before there's a problem. So they kind of have an idea of what will happen if there is a claim. So tone of voice is important. Make sure that you're calm. You don't want to use that voice like you're talking to your children. That's not good. When you're talking to them about money, you want to make sure that you use the small numbers. So if you have a 6-month policy, you don't want to divide it by monthly and you want to give them that monthly rate. So when a policy is increasing, you want to go with the monthly or divided rate. If the policy is decreasing, you want to go with the larger amount. So that's just a long time insurance thing that we've all kind of discovered. If you're not using it that way, start to think that way. Giving them the smaller numbers is better. It's easier to take when the policy is going up. So remember, carriers have different features. So you want to make sure you push those features onto your clients and make sure that they know that the carrier that they're going to be with has certain features that will benefit them. Remember, we don't want to apologize for rate. It's not our fault that rate is increasing. So make sure you're empathizing and saying, I understand. If I had this rate increase, I would feel the same way. Let's see if we can't, work together to figure out what the best answer is and what the best solution is. Make a plan together and invite them to kind of be involved with you on the plan on how to lower that rate. Have the rate conversation, frame the rate, talk about the average increase in your state or in your area so they can see that their rate increase may not be the highest rate increase. Use the monthly numbers. When you ask a question, you need to be silent and let them listen and make sure you're reviewing their current policy. So we hope this helps frame the rate. We hope it helps you talk to the customer about rate. Remember, thank them for calling, have empathy, and tell them that you understand and you want to help them find a solution. And everybody's rates are going up. We all want to work together. Ask the customer some questions. Make sure you close your mouth and be silent. Let the customer answer. But try these different tactics when you're having that rate conversation with your clients. And we have other resources on our website at agencyperformancepartners.com. Hopefully this will help you have the conversation with your clients about rate. It will make you more comfortable. Try to be proactive and do those outbound calls instead of being reactive when the client calls in. But if you have to be reactive, make the rate conversations easier, educate them on the reasons for the rate increases, and try to do your best to get them the coverage that they absolutely deserve and that they absolutely need. So thanks for listening. Have a great day.